Ever since I felt confident enough to like want to post videos, I've always wanted to make this video. It's just gonna be me giving advice from 20 years of life, or like my little life journey so far, and hopefully that this advice helps you become a better person and truly not make the same mistakes I've made. Please learn from my mistakes and let's grow together. So, first advice I would give. Actually, let me just start simple. I don't know where you're at in life right now, but I'll start. I'll start in eighth grade. I'll start as early as possible. The best advice I would say is breathe and enjoy life. And what do I mean by this? I think a lot of us are so focused on pleasing other people that we're not trying to be ourselves. And I think a lot of us are not able to. Let me change what I mean. Be present. Be present is probably the most impactful advice I can give you. So many times of my life, I kind of run passively. I kind of run on like auto mode where it's just happening around me. Even though I'm present, I'm not really present in my head. And I would really, really encourage to be present, whether it be getting involved, whether it be getting out your comfort zone, or like getting to know the people around you. I think it's so important to be present. Truly like embrace the space, embrace where you're at, embrace the moment. This is me being present right now. I don't know what can be accomplished by this, but I'm trying my best to be present. Like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it well and I'm gonna truly do it. And that's what I think sometimes being present means. And it's okay not always to be present. It's okay to stay by yourself. But I think it's so important to connect with people in whatever place you're at. Getting out your comfort zone. Oh my gosh, don't even think about if they'll judge you or not. Just say hi, nice to meet you. That's first advice I would give. Second advice that's like beaming off the dome right now is if you can, or if you like, don't ever watch porn. Oh my goodness. I think like we don't talk about this enough, but porn literally destroys lives. Whether it be the objectification of both men and women, whether it be the abuse that we put our brains and the people who are in these scenes through. I think like no matter how I guess attractive in a way it looks, it's just not real, and it gives this false reality of what we expect this thing should be like, and it's very perverted if I'm being completely honest. And not just that, it really messes with your mind. It makes you start objectifying the other gender. it makes you stop seeing it makes you stop seeing people like people. It makes you objectify people. And I'd say to the best of my ability, if you can, never watch it. And if you have, it's okay. I would say take steps towards stopping, whether it be getting people involved to hold you accountable, because it is an addiction at the end of the day. Because like we talk about drugs as addictions, but we don't talk about porn as addictions. It's very, very dangerous, and it will destroy your future. Just being completely honest with you, that's like probably second biggest advice. Because for me, somebody showed me porn, and that really affected my viewpoint on women for a long time. And only like in these past 5, 7 years of my life, nah, that's giving myself too much justice. I would be completely real with you. Only in these 3 to 5 years, sadly, if I'm being honest with you, where like I'm that's even giving myself too much justice. 3 to 5. That's not even giving to myself too much justice, or giving myself too much like too much air, I guess. Only like these last couple years, you can do the math. I'm not gonna do any math, but these last couple years is where I have like been in that journey of getting more free and more free from it, and like so, and it's really changed my viewpoint and our conversation. So, if you can, don't watch porn. If you are, stop, find help. There's different resources that can definitely help with curving your addiction. And even though you don't want to like talk about you scrolling on Instagram like at the other gender and all these things, that's definitely a form of porn. Soft porn, whether the shows you're watching have like sex or like semi-pornographic images, those are porn. So I would really like say guard your mind in that. Guard your mind for sure. I would say the next advice I would give is be honest. And when I say be honest, I'm going to add be honest with love. I think for a long time, I was honest, but never with love. It was just like blunt. I am right honest, and like I know like my way is the best way, but it's not the best way, and it was never was. And even when I was trying to be honest, it never came from a place of love. It never came from really looking at the other person's shoes. And only recently too, it's where I've started becoming more aware. I guess being more empathetic. Like, this is probably weird, but these are my shoes, very beat up, and it's really hard for you to walk in my shoes, and it's also incredibly hard for me to walk in your shoes. But I think it is so important to be empathetic. We don't talk about empathy enough. Like, I think we think of sympathy and like apologizing, but sympathy is really just looking down on people. At least that's how I like to view sympathy. Sympathy is good, but it's like, in a way, in my viewpoint, I'm probably wrong, probably definitely wrong. It's looking down on people. Empathy is placing yourself in other people's shoes and seeing like, huh, how did this affect them? How does this make them the way they are? And how can I understand what they're going through? Empathy would take you above and above and above. Be empathetic. That's really what I would say. Next advice is ask questions. It's okay not to know. It is very okay not to know. I think like it's so wrong to act like you know when you don't know. And speaking from doing that, man, when you act like you know something or understand something, when you really don't, it harms you so many ways, and it also hurts the other people around you. For example, I thought for a long time I understood what commitment was. And you could think about whether in relationship or in like, I guess discipline, not even I guess, in discipline in my walk with God. But for a long time I never truly understood what commitment is. Commitment is even when I don't feel like doing it, it's doing it. Commitment is not based on how you feel. Commitment is not based on, oh, I'm happy or sad. Commitment is, I'm gonna do it regardless. And that's a lesson I'm constantly learning in this journey, and I'm trying to be more committed if I'm being honest with you. So don't speak from a place of not don't speak from a place that you don't understand. It's very dangerous. Best advice I can give. Then the next advice I would give, don't just say sorry, change. This comes from the heart, truly. I am a master of apologies. Sadly. I think whenever I realize something's wrong, or I get told, okay, Mister, you did this and this hurt me, I'm very quick to apologize, which is not a bad thing, which is really good. But I say sorry, and my sorry doesn't result in change. One thing I have learned, the best way you can ever say sorry is never doing it again. But like the never doing it again is so hard because you're stuck in your old practices. You've continuously done this way. And in you saying sorry, or if you're really changing, it's never doing it again. The best way to say sorry is to never do it again, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, yeah. It's a hard lesson I learned. Another lesson I learned is expectations are good, but if you do not communicate these expectations, it's very dangerous. Expectations are a false reality we place on people without their consent. But expectations are good. I think that we tend to think that expectations are not good. Or like, it's either vice versa sometimes, if I'm being honest with you. Expectations are really good because depends on the situation. This is very dependent on the situation. If you're like, okay, I want this to go this way because this is the system's put in place, this is put in place, this is put in place, yeah. But be flexible enough if it doesn't go that way. But expectations can be very dangerous when you expect things from others without even talking to them about it. And that's where I fell in line with. I have these false expectations based on shows, based on movies, based on TV, based on false realities again. And whenever I don't communicate, that's very dangerous because people will fail you, or people will not meet these false expectations because they never knew you had these expectations. So that's a big lesson. If you can communicate your expectations, and yeah, really communicate your expectations. Communicate, okay, this is how you want these to go, this and that. And even in that, be flexible enough to not, like, if it doesn't go your way, it's okay. Because life is not always going to go your way. Another lesson I have learned is gratitude. truly, truly, truly practice gratitude. And I mean, like, not just being thankful. I mean, it is just being thankful if I'm being honest, but like, I get the opportunity to do this. It's such a big game changer. I get the opportunity to have a bed to sleep on. I get the opportunity to have a room to clean. Like, my dad growing up didn't have a bed. And I get this very fortunate opportunity to sleep on a bed and things like that. And it's like, be grateful. Say thank you. Say thank you. Thank the people around you. Thank your mom. Thank your dad. Thank your siblings. Thank your aunts, your grandmas. Thank the random person. Like, like one of the biggest influences on my life is this man at my church who buys snacks for kids. At like, he buys snacks for like the children's church, and like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, something like that, he goes and buys snacks for the children's church. And because of his kindness, he's all like truly has changed my life. Truly, I used to be very rude and angry. I'm probably gonna talk about this later. I'm gonna write it down. But red was my favorite color because it resonated rage. It resonated this anger I had at the world. So red just looked like that, but red is it's not that anymore for me. It's not anywhere close to that. So I would say be grateful, practice gratitude. Um, ooh, this might go against, I guess, cultural norms, but abstinence is key. Oh, let's talk about that. Abstinence is key. Let me write down the other thing I wanted to say. Let me write it down real quick as I talk. So, what I mean by abstinence is key is no is your most powerful. No is your most powerful yes. I don't just mean abstinence and sex or anything like that. I mean, I do mean that for sure. Please, like, I really think we have sex with it is very important, and like maturity level, when I really just think it should be something between like married people, because it's so dangerous to just open yourself to multiple people. I'm not just even talking about like it's just dangerous if I'm being honest. I think that your no is your most powerful yes. And like in abstinence is the complete withdrawal of something or the complete not doing something. I think it's very important to stay abstinent of drugs or, I mean, drugs for real. I think those things can be very damaging, or like worldly practices, because I don't think we realize how dangerous they are. They look fun, but they're extremely dangerous against like our future. In the moment, they're fun, but they really don't mean much. So practice abstinence. Biggest advice. Um, yeah, it's cool to be a virgin. I don't know. I don't know. Like for some reason, I feel like people will always gaslight. Like no, it's not. This and that. Like for a long time, so many people were always telling me, "Man, make sure you're gonna have sex, this and that. You're gonna be breaking girls' backs down, this and that." And it was like, that's really just objectifying women, if I'm being honest. And we live in this culture of objectifying each other. It's weird. It's nasty. It's we use people so that we can feel good. We use people so that we can feel better about ourselves. But that's so wrong and dangerous in its own light. The next thing I'm gonna say, and it's something I'm working on. I haven't learned it well. I mean, I'm learning, I guess, to be honest. Boundaries. It is so important to set boundaries. I'm currently working on that, and that's something I'm still struggling with. I think because of the type of person I am, I'm very open, and I like one-on-one conversations, and I like these intimate moments. I really like intimate moments. I like just doing life with people, and because of that, I don't think I always set the most healthy boundaries. Whether it be like what I allow in the friendship, what I allow in my life, and where like people are not allowed. I guess it goes back to that no. No is very powerful, but in setting boundaries is knowing like how to guard my heart. I guess in setting boundaries, I would say guide your heart. The Bible literally says, above all else, guard your heart, because in it flows the issues of life. And oh my gosh, I could talk about like how wicked the heart is and how our heart wanders and how our feelings are formed and all these things. But I think it's so important to set boundaries and to guard our hearts, because truly the issues of life flows through it. Completely being honest with you. Those are the only things I can think of at the moment. The more I think, the more I will say. But yeah. Oh, another advice I would say. I don't know how old you are watching this, but if you're like middle school or high school, I would really suggest taking college classes. I know they may be stressful at the moment, but like are so much more worth it than taking regular classes. At least if you're given the opportunity, take those classes, do well, and so you can get the college credit, because then you can save money. I don't think I realized how expensive the world was until I'm really in it. As a kid, I thought t-shirts were $5. I thought shorts were $4. That's not true. Like, I mean, even like maybe when I was a kid, I'm not even that old. I'm not even that old. But maybe when I was a kid, probably. But this stuff is so expensive. So like, save your money. Oh my gosh, the next lesson I remember, there's food in the house. To some certain extent, there is food in the house. I don't know what your fridge looks like. You could probably not have food in the house, but there's some format of something in the house. I think that it's so dangerous. Well, not dangerous. I'm correct myself. It is dangerous, but I don't mean dangerous and like don't do it. Um, the principle of saving your money and there's food in the house, and just like the importance of your home. I think sometimes we go out looking for things, but we realize the thing that we're really looking for is at home, and it will fill you up better, if that makes sense. It's very vague and loose, but I think in some format, the person watching this way will understand it. And if not, comment. I'll try to explain better, and I'll try to talk. But yeah, these are just some advice from the life I've lived so far and who I'm becoming and things I'm learning and things I'm trying to learn, things I'm trying to practice. You got this. We got this. Let's keep going.